What is Onanism? Is Onanism a sin? Today we will talk about an embarrassing for many subject, the origin of the word Onanism. Even this discomforting word has its roots in the Bible, the sacred book that seems to have covered all the themes of human interactions and activities. Onanism, also called coitus interruptus, is the interrupting of sexual intercourse, specifically the purposeful withdrawal of the penis from the vagina before ejaculation occurs. Onanism is synonymous with the withdrawal method of birth control. However, within Judaism, onanism is given a broad definition encompassing withdrawal, coitus interruptus, masturbation, homosexuality, and any other improper emission of seed. In patriarchal societies of the ancient Near East, the uninterrupted passing on of land and property from father to son was extremely important. It was so important that the Mosaic law outlined the requirements for levirate marriage. If a married man died childless, his brother or another family member was obliged to marry the widow and sire a son who could inherit the dead man's property and carry on the man's name, Deuteronomy 25, 5-10. The practice of levirate marriage was understood and accepted by the Israelites far earlier than the giving of the law, and we have an example of it in Genesis 38. That's where we find the story of Onan and his Onanism. The term Onanism comes from a character named Onan in the book of Genesis. So who was Onan? Onan was the second son of Judah, the founder of the tribe of Judah, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Judah, in his turn, was, according to the book of Genesis, the fourth of the 6 sons of Jacob and Leah. By extension, he is indirectly the eponym of the kingdom of Judah, the land of Judea, and the word Jew. As we will discuss further, God caused Onan to die, but he was not the only son of Judah to be killed by God himself. His elder brother was the eldest son of Judah and his Canaanite wife. Married Tamar, but according to the text, the Lord slew him for his evil lifestyle. The Bible does not dwell on the exact reasons why God got rid of but we trust God's judgment. Had not fathered a son with his wife, Tamar, prior to his death. Following the law of levirate marriage, Dowager Tamar was to marry her deceased husband's next oldest brother, Onan, that is. Onan was willing to have sex with Tamar, but he wasn't willing to sire a son with her, a son who would not legally be his and who would take away his chance of inheriting his dead brother's property. So, in the midst of sexual relations with Tamar, Onan withdrew and spilled his semen on the ground, Genesis 38:9. In this way, Onan ensured he would not provide a child to Tamar, even though it was his duty to do so, verse 8. Genesis 38:10 says, "What he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death also." The word onanism is therefore an eponym, since it is derived from the personal name of an individual. Onan's action of spilling his seed rather than impregnating his wife is now called onanism. Historically, there has been a great amount of confusion and debates about Onan's sin. Contrary to what some teach, his sin was not masturbation, nor is Genesis 38 teaching that the withdrawal method of birth control is sinful. The sin of Onan was his greedy, selfish refusal to sire a son on behalf of his brother. Onan was of the tribe of Judah, the kingly tribe, and the tribe of the Messiah. In fact, Tamar, the woman wronged by Onan, is listed in the genealogy of Christ, Matthew chapter 1, verse 3. God had a vested interest in Tamar's children and Judah's grandchildren. Is onanism a sin? Onan's sin was not masturbation as preached by some religious denominations, but refusal to conceive an heir with his diseased brother's widow. Onan detested the fact that a son conceived with his seed would not have become Onan's own heir, but his dead brother's. Onan's crime was a refusal to fulfill his duty of levirate marriage, which doesn't really apply to Christians today anyway. Onan violated Mosaic law deliberately, thus the punishment was imminent. In the time of Genesis, willful disobedience to God's strict commandments often resulted in death of the transgressor. And selfish Onan was one of them.